Time now for our daily look at the international newspapers. Our press reviewer Diptyka Laurent is with us now for that. Diptyka, lots of focus in the press today on that reiterated offer from the UK to Hong Kong citizens.
Yeah, this came after thousands of people protested in Hong Kong yesterday over that new national security law that was passed by Beijing. The Times of London reporting on its front page that Britain has opened the door to 3 million Hong Kong migrants with the creation of this immigration arrangement that would essentially allow them to settle in the UK and acquire British citizenship within about 5 years. On the front page, it's also on the front page of the Eye today, which sees it as an escape for Hong Kong residents to the UK. The paper reiterating the government's comments that Beijing's security law was draconian and a flagrant breach of treaty. The Wall Street Journal, meanwhile, the editors there welcomes Britain's offer of immigration, saying the US should do the same, while also noting in its editorial today that a beacon of freedom has been extinguished with this new national security law, and the world should learn now that it can't trust Beijing's promises.
Indeed, and I believe authorities in Australia are looking at becoming
Also
somewhat
Australia.
of a safe haven for people from Hong Kong, should they want it. Moving on, Diptyka, and a local story here in France is generating a lot of reactions in the papers as well. The government facing calls to disband a special police unit over claims of theft and violence.
That's right. A special police unit in charge of fighting things like the underground or the black market in Saint-Denis, the suburb here just outside of Paris, which is also one of the poorest parts of France. That police unit is facing at least 15 investigations. The New York Times says. The French press says says maybe even 20 investigations into things like suspected drug trafficking, theft, violence, and falsifying police reports. Some are even accused of opening foreign bank accounts to hide dirty money. It comes at a really bad time for the French police at a moment when there's a lot of pressure on the police already over allegations that they overstep their authority, particularly in arrests of people of minorities, and a lot of questions about them being brought to accountability. So this is a really sordid affair at this time. In Libération today, the lawyer of a cannabis dealer recounts how, according to the lawyer, his client was beaten, tear-gassed, and received electric shocks to his genitals during an undercover sting that led to his arrest last year. The lawyer describing the whole operation as sort of a police mafia which uses violence and torture to extort money from people doing illegal business.
Gosh, a very shocking story there, Diptyka. Meanwhile, Amsterdam's red light district is reopening after the coronavirus shutdown.
Yeah, much to the relief of the city's sex workers. Many feared a drop in clientele due to the tourism ban post-lockdown, but it certainly hasn't been the case, with one sex worker saying she was totally booked out on Wednesday. The post-lockdown conditions, though, mean that sex workers and clients have to observe new rules to prevent infection and transmission. For instance, clients must disclose if they have any symptoms or have been in contact with anyone who has been sick. Sex workers must disinfect and clean the sheets and bedroom and all of that after each rendezvous. There's also no kissing, and they have to avoid face-to-face activity, so it'll make for very different sex work, I think.
Okay, well, let's end, Diptyka, with another story back in France and involving the police, but a very different story. They were called to an unusual sighting in southeast of the country.
Yeah, and they were left a little red-faced this week after reacting to several worrying sightings of a black panther languishing on the banks of a river. A specialized team with perfect knowledge of the area and of local wildlife was dispatched to extract the animal, which turned out to be what I can assume was a very lifelike stuffed toy panther.
If that's it, it doesn't look very lifelike there.
Well, it doesn't. I guess the picture doesn't do it justice anyway. The animal was picked up by police, or that stuffed toy. The police say it's now awaiting pickup in a local police station. That's what authorities said, a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, not a very good day for the French police, Diptyka, in your press review. But thanks a lot for that, Diptyka Laurent, there with our review of the international papers. And